Good morning, everybody. We'll start New Mexico Environmental Improvement Board meeting for June 27th, 2025, and it is 9:03. And with that, Luis, would you please go through roll call?
Yes. Okay, roll call. Member Bitzer.
Present.
Member Healy.
Here.
Member Garcia.
Here.
Member Hunker.
Here.
Chair Sweeney.
Here.
Vice Chair Trujillo. Okay, that's 5 members out of 6 present. Do you have a quorum, Madam Chair?
Thank you, Mr.
You're
Lopez.
welcome.
Appreciate that. With that, we're going to go on to the second item of our agenda that was posted, which is the approval of the June 27, 2025 agenda. And just want to take a minute. I think we might need a revision. I don't know. Eduardo, if our legal counsel, I know we have, I think it's agenda item number 6, EIB 25-15R. Did we get some recent submittals on that?
Yes, Madam Chair. I think we are going to amend it to remove that item from the agenda. So we just need a motion, somebody to remove that item.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So yes, Member Garcia.
Yes, I move that we approve the June 27th agenda minus the EIB 25-15 matter, item number 6.
Thank you, Member Garcia. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Member Hunker. Is there any questions? Any discussion? If not, Mr. Lopez, would you please do a roll call vote on Member Garcia's motion to approve the agenda with the mentioned revision?
Yes. Motion to amend the agenda. Member Bitzer, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Member Healy.
Yes.
Member Garcia.
Yes.
Member Hunker.
Yes.
Chair Sweeney.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. With that roll call vote, we go on to agenda item number 3, which is the approval of June 6, 2025 special meeting minutes. And I believe that has been distributed to the members, and I think we've got that revision cleared up already, I believe. Is there any motion that we can?
I will move we approve the revised minutes of the June 6th, 2025 meeting as they were sent around on Tuesday, June 24th. I'll second that.
Thank you, Member Hunker, for your motion, and Member Bitzer for your second. Seeing no further discussion or questions, Mr. Lopez, would you please do a roll call vote on Member Hunker's motion?
Yes, Member Bitzer, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Member Healy.
I abstain as I was absent during that meeting.
Thank you. Member Garcia.
Yes.
Member Hunker.
Yes.
Chair Sweeney.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. With that, we go on to our next agenda item, which is agenda item number 4, public comment. And Mr. Lopez, want to check in with you, see if anybody's raised their hand on the platform, or if you know of anybody that would like to make public comment this morning.
Madam Chair, nobody on the platform has indicated they would like to make a public comment.
Okay, anybody here? Nope. All right. One more, few more seconds to make sure folks have had a minute to raise their hand. I see none. With that, we'll go on to our next agenda item, which is agenda item number 5, EIB 25-32R, in the matter of proposed amendments to 7.6.2 NMAC Food Service and Food Processing. Mr. Andrew Knight, legal counsel for NMED, our other guest. Turn it over to you.
Thank you. The microphones are working better today, or at least in this room. Good morning, Chair, members of the board. I'm Andrew Knight, Assistant General Counsel with the New Mexico Environment Department. With me today is Mia Napolitano, who is my co-counsel, also with the department. And we have Bill Chavez and Jonathan Gerhardt, Marcy Navarro from the Environmental Health Bureau. And we are here today to request a hearing on some minor but important amendments to the food service rules. And we would like to get to a hearing in October, if at all possible. And we understand that the board has a number of matters, both current and in the foreseeable future. But we believe that a hearing could last as little as half a day for this. Again, the amendments we're proposing are, there's not too many of them. They are fairly discrete, and a lot of it is kind of just updating the regulations, adding a definition, and proposing some new fees to offset the substantial costs of implementing the food safety program. So, and I would venture to say that if the board decides to appoint one of your own members as hearing officer, I think that would work very well for this type of hearing, and would be efficient, and we could get this done and let you move on to your other things. So
Thank you, Mr. Knight. Appreciate that. Members of the board, is there any questions for our guests this morning? Yes, Member Hunker.
Yeah, you said it could last as little as a half a day. That sounds like it could be longer, and there could be quite a bit of comment on it. So could you elaborate on that in terms of what you anticipate in terms of comment and any controversial issues, et cetera?
thank you, Chair and Member Hunker. At this point, the changes that we're proposing, we don't believe that they will affect a majority of currently operating food service establishments. So, certainly there is certainly there will be some comment from industry, and what form their participation will take is really unknown right now. We are certainly going to engage in further, stakeholder involvement leading up to the hearing, and there may be negotiations. We may, well, this might be somewhat optimistic, but we, potentially could come to you with a stipulated proposal by the time of the hearing. But or we could, a partial stipulation that would narrow the issues, something like that. But we do anticipate that the Restaurant Association, for instance, will provide comment. There may be individual, establishment owners that will provide comment, but I don't think this is going to be, anything on the scale of clean cars, for instance, or anything like that. So could the hearing last a full day? I think that's probably at the high end of what I would anticipate at this point.
Sounds to me like it's still kind of an unknown, and how much time we allocate for it, and whether or not we have a contract hearing officer. Sounds like it's going to be dependent on what sort of feedback you get in the coming months. So, just my take on this. I'll yield to the other board members. So.
Thank you, Member Hunker. Yes, Member Garcia.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Knight. You mentioned that the Restaurant Association may give comment. Do you know if they are opposed to this so far?
I have not heard anything directly from them regarding their position on this, but I think I think they're going to need to develop a position on it, and again, there's going to be extensive dialogue between us and them between now and the hearing, and whether they're going to present any witnesses, they could do, they could have some witnesses, but I can tell you that our presentation of our part of this case would not be more than a few hours. So whatever witnesses, they want to have testify could take, an equal amount of time, and we still be under a day. But, from my experience, I would certainly not be surprised if they say that they would like these fees to be lower than they are, and the board can, take that testimony and reach a decision. But I don't see the potential for much more than, our presentation being, well, we think they should be this, and their presentation saying, well, we think it should be a different number, and then the board can deliberate and decide. And I remember Hunker's point, I guess I'm talking about the time I anticipate for the presentation of the evidence, and the board's deliberations are a different matter. They could be done at a different time if the board found that convenient, or they could deliberate at the end of the hearing if there's time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Member Ely.
So there hasn't been any public meetings thus far. Is that correct? And the Restaurant Association has not reviewed the petition that's been, or commented on the petition that's been filed.
Right. That is correct.
Okay. I agree that it seems fairly straightforward, except for the administrative compliance costs. That's a new concept. The board has heard that before in relation to air quality fees. To me, that seems like it might be one of the more contentious points. So there could be some controversy here. On that point, I would appreciate at the hearing, of course not now, a better understanding of the department's legal authority to move forward with administrative compliance costs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Member Ely. Any other questions or comments from fellow board members? Member Hunker, did you have any follow-up? No. All right. So in your request, Mr. Knight, the department was looking at October monthly meeting.
That's correct.
Okay. And so members of the board, that would be, I believe, let me look at my calendar. And also looking at time constraints, if there's any, if it gets more complex, I guess is the best word. So would that be October 24th? Yes. Yes, Member Hunker.
I have a note on my calendar entry that we were at least tentatively planning on deliberating on regional haze at that meeting. And that could take a while. So it sounds like it'd be a bit much to add this onto that. with a 1 day limit.
That's correct, Member Hunker. Appreciate that. I have that similar note on mine, and it blocked out that entire day. Any other thoughts from the board if you wanted to do the 23rd or the next, well, we're getting near Halloween on the next day, next week of that month. Any thoughts, board? Member Ely?
Just that I think I read that you wanted the effective date to be January 2026 for this, and pushing it back too far may make it difficult to get it published and effective by that day. So maybe not into November, but earlier would be fine, I think.
Okay. Is that
That is
accurate?
correct.
Okay. Thank you for that. And then, is there any constraints on your end, NMAD, if it's way earlier? Is October enough to do public engagement and everything that you're planning on?
Yes, Chair, that is enough time, and we built in a little extra time. So there's adequate time to draft and translate public notices, for instance, and still have a 60-day, notice period, and as well as the stakeholder engagement.
Thank you for that, Mr. Knight. Any thoughts? I'm looking at either October 23rd, the day before, or sometime the week right after.
I'm open to,
You're open?
yeah, just about any date in October actually is good for me.
Okay. Everybody's shaking. Yep. Do we want to just hit October 23rd and then we'll be able to just have the 23rd and 24th? All right. Yes, Member Hunker.
And that would, if it did spill over beyond a day, then maybe we would have, we could use part of the 24th if necessary.
Yes. All right. And then, so in the matter of the hearing officer, what are your thoughts, fellow board members? Are you thinking contract or a board member? Member Hunker.
My gut feel is we should go contract just in case it's contentious and there's a lot of documents filed and there's follow-up opinions or something. I'd feel more comfortable with a contract hearing officer.
Thank you for that, Member Hunker. Others see some shaking of the heads. Yes, Member Bitzer.
I take a contrary view on that. I just think that it might be voluminous in terms of the stuff, but I don't think it's going to be complicated. When in doubt, err on the side of inclusion. Let folks admit evidence in a questionable area. We've got counsel, and then it gets harder to schedule if you have to make sure that the hearing officer is available. And then we get back and it's like, oh, we got to bump the date because we don't have a hearing officer kind of thing. I suggest keeping it simple, but I'll go either way.
Okay. Thank you. I don't know, Mr. Lopez, do you know the availability, just so that we have all of the information for the board, if we have hearing officers available on October 23rd?
I know hearing officer Orth has limited availability towards the end of the year. And as of right now, she's the only contract hearing officer that we'll have. Hopefully by then we'll add a few more, but.
Okay. Yeah, I have a note from Miss Jones saying she's booked through October with limited availability in November. But I think December would be too close to get the rule effective.
Was Member Bitzer volunteering?
Yeah, I'll do it. I've managed to
Okay.
avoid ending up with the wrong end of litigation. A lot of types of things. So I was at regulation and licensing. I was at human services. No process. Sure, I'll do it.
Good. Member Hunker.
And thank you, Member Bitzer. But I do think if as we get down the road on this and it becomes apparent that it could be, if it becomes apparent, we really might need a contract hearing officer. I assume we can always revisit that with another decision at a future meeting.
Yes, yes, we can. So, is that amenable, Member Bitzer? All right. With that, I think we've got a hearing officer, and I don't know if fellow board members are ready for a motion. Yes, Member Hunker.
Yes, I will move that we set a hearing on EIB 25-32R to begin on October 23rd, 2025, with the Member Bitzer as the hearing officer.
Thank you, Member Hunker. Second.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Member Ely. Yes, Mr. Knight.
Chair, could we specify a start time on that date?
9 a.m. Okay.
I will amend my motion to add a start time of 9 a.m.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Member Hunker, for your motion, revised motion, and the second. Is there any other considerations that or discussion points we need to have looking at fellow board members? If not, Mr. Lopez, would you please do a roll call vote on Member Hunker's motion?
Yes. Member Bitzer,
I vote yes.
Member Ely,
Yes.
Member Garcia,
Yes,
Member Hunker,
Yes.
Chair Sweeney,
Yes.
and motion passes, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Appreciate that. And thank you to NMED, our guest this morning. Appreciate you coming early this morning. With that, we have our next agenda item, which is next meeting and upcoming matters. Is there any questions, discussion? Yes, Member Garcia?
yes, I just wanted to confirm the next meeting is July 18th, and I think I'm the hearing officer for that one. And that's a OSHA matter. And then August, we don't have anything scheduled, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Mhm. And then September is 2 weeks of the clean fuel hearing.
Ms. Garcia, I think July 18th, we're going to hear amendments to Part 70, not OSHA, which would be air. Is that not correct?
We ended up, didn't we end up moving that?
We ended up moving the OSHA one, which was previous in the week. I think it was the 15th, 16th
that
and
was a diff-
17th.
That was a different OSHA hearing.
Yes.
Right, we moved that to January, but we still have the air one, which you're the hearing officer in on July 18th. That's what my notes show.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay, let me
Yeah.
look,
Well, wait a minute.
Mr. Lopez, can you confirm? Can you confirm that?
Madam Chair, I apologize. I don't have those notes with me.
Okay.
The next, upcoming stuff.
Hold on one second, let me look.
Here.
Yes, Member Honker.
It's very
I
straightforward.
volunteered to be hearing officer for OSHA.
Not the heat
Yeah.
related one.
Hold on.
No, not that
There,
one.
there's two OSHA
So-
hearings.
Right, this one was a very simple
Yes.
Yeah.
Inclusion by reference of a federal rule or something very simple.
Correct.
But my calendar says that hearing is on the 18th, and then we have a regular meeting on the 25th.
Correct.
Which one, what's,
One day.
Yeah, 25-10.
Yes, 25. So on July 18th, we have the public hearing 25-10, which is the the repeal and replacement of 20.2.70.
Which is no.
Correct.
An air rule.
Correct.
70 is an air regulation,
Mhm.
part 70.
And Title V program revision.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Was it a,
It's just a repeal and replace to conform.
okay,
to
so what
federal-
is the simple OSHA one then?
The simple OSHA one is, give me a second. I will
Right.
pull that up.
Yeah, it is part 70 is Title V.
Yes, give me one second and I can.
Air. You think it's a,
Repeal and replace
Yes.
federal.
Okay, we have the clean program. No.
You did volunteer.
I did volunteer for it.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Let me get that information.
This happened.
The- Hold on one, I can pull it up. Hold on one second. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay. And I can look at what the orders I signed here. Yeah, 1 second. I have to navigate. Okay, so let's just make sure we're in line. So the repeal replacement 20.2.70, the one that we were just talking about. That is the one actually that you are the hearing officer, Member Garcia. So I have the order here. Board appointed you as serving as a hearing officer in that one. And that is the July 18th. Okay. All right. All right. Is there, and then you wanted me to follow up on another one? Is there anything else you wanted me to? So, okay. So, and then we have the, appointment of Ms. Orth for our clean transportation field program. Right, so that will start in September and continue through October. We have that one. All right. Okay. All right, I'm going through here. Station. And then and one of them. Okay. And here's the OSHA. I mean, yeah, sorry, the heat illness, that's Felicia as well, Miss Orth. All right. Okay. All right, with that, yes, member Eden.
So it's a hard thing to talk about, but with the murder of the legislators in
Mhm.
June, got me thinking about our privacy
Mhm.
as a members of the EIB, especially since we do address a number of controversial issues that people aren't always happy with. And I hearken back to Clean Cars when the Rio Grande Foundation delivered flyers directly to our homes as EIB board members and to our neighbors, telling them they should put pressure on us to vote against the rule.
Mhm.
Anyways, I think at one point I would love to know how the board members' personal information is protected. At one point, I thought our previous lawyer said that the AG was working was working on something, but Eduardo, do you know anything about that? And if you don't, I'm just wondering if we can have a discussion at a later date, perhaps.
Member Ely, I'm not aware of anything, but I can certainly look into it.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Ely, for bringing that up. All right, with that, next agenda items adjourned.
A motion we adjourn?
Thank you, Member Pitzer.
I'll second.
Thank you, Member Hunker. And Mr. Lopez, would you please do the roll call vote on Member Pitzer's motion to adjourn?
Yes, Madam Chair. Motion to adjourn. Member Bitzer,
I vote yes.
Member Ely,
Yes.
Member Garcia,
Yes.
Member Hunker,
Yes.
and Chair Sweeney.
Yes.
And 5 yay votes, motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez, and with everybody online, have a wonderful weekend and thank you for attending. Appreciate it.